What's going on, guys? TTL here. You guys had a lot of love for the last video, so I wanted to do my top sportsbook bets for today as well, July 10th, 2025. As always, all of these are coming straight from the predictiveprofits.ai betting predictor. Highly recommend this, guys. Up a ton of units since getting started, and you can use code TTL50 for 50% off on every single one. I also do want to mention, guys, if you are interested, the Discord went absolutely crazy yesterday. We not only did we kill our sportsbook bets, but we went 15-1 on props. We cashed out basically every single slip that we put in. Absolutely amazing day. You guys can join that by using the WAP link in the description or in the pinned comment. Let's get into the video and get into the picks for today. First off, we're going to start with a recap from yesterday, though. So let's get started. So starting us off, the recap from yesterday, we had the Baltimore Orioles plus 1.5 spread at minus 125 odds. It had a 63.3% chance of hitting according to predictive profits, and the game got postponed. They're going to play that again today. So there's going to be two Orioles versus who are they versus again? Well, there's going to be two Orioles versus the New York Mets games today. The one at 5 p.m. is the remake, and then the one at around 12 p.m. noonish, that is going to be the game that's meant to be today. That one got postponed though. The second one, we had the Padres Diamondbacks game total over 8 at minus 105 odds, a 62.14% projected hit rate. That one cashed. And then we had the Brewers money line at plus 131 at a 53.17% projected hit rate. That one cashed, as always, with predictive profits. Now let's get into the actual meat and potatoes of the video for today's picks. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button for daily picks for both sportsbook bets and props every single day. The prop video will be out later today. But when we take a look, we can see the Mets versus the Orioles game today. Same exact bet as yesterday. The Orioles plus 1.5 spread at minus 125 odds. This may be moved to like minus 130 now. I still think it's worth taking because as we saw, it has a 63 point something percent projected hit rate from predictive profits. Now, when we take a look at this, it's 63.8% projected hit rate. And we can see it's David Peterson versus Charlie Morton on the mound for the Orioles. Now, this is for the game at 12:05 p.m. Eastern. This is not for the game at 5 p.m. We're not taking the same bet technically because we're not taking the bet on the makeup game. We're taking it on the first game tomorrow. David Peterson is 6-4 this season, a 3.18 earned runs allowed per game. Charlie Morton is at 5-7, right-handed pitcher, which is beautiful with 5.4 ERA. I'm loving this matchup for the Orioles. I liked it before. I definitely like Charlie Morton more than Tomoyuki Sagano. So definitely going to run this even more now. Next up, we have the Cubs versus the Twins. We're going to go ahead and take the Minnesota Twins money line at plus 107. We actually took this yesterday as well. It was like minus 108. Today, plus 107. I love to see that. So let's go ahead and take this. And when we take a look, it's a 54.42% projected hit rate from predictive profits. And we have Colin Rea versus Chris Paddock on the mounds for each team. Colin Rea 6-3 this season with a 4.13 ERA. Chris Paddock is 3-7, which sounds terrible with a 4.6 ERA. But the way the Twins have been playing recently, I love this recent form they've had. And with this being plus money at a 54.4% projected hit rate from predictive profits, this one's a no-brainer for me. I'm going to go ahead and lock in on the over. Next up, we have the Marlins versus the Reds. We're going to go ahead and take the Miami Marlins money line again. I know we didn't cash this yesterday. We took the same bet yesterday and they played horribly, but they're plus 156 today. And for those odds, I'm willing to take this. This is actually one of my favorite bets of the day. I do think they're going to come back today, and we have them at a 50.5% projected hit rate, making this one of the most positive EV plays that I'm giving you guys today. Because if you can hit a coin flip at plus 156 odds 50.5% of the time, that's amazing. And when we look at the mound today, it actually makes me super excited because we have Cal Quantrill versus Nick Lodolo. Cal Quantrill is 3-7 this season with a 5.4 ERA. Nick Lodolo is 5-6 with a 3.5 ERA, and I think this could be a very high scoring game. And I think that the Marlins are going to come back from that terrible outing that they had yesterday where they just absolutely did nothing. So hopefully the Marlins can score some more today, make this a high scoring competitive game versus the Reds. And let's move on to the next one. Next up, we have the Mariners versus the Yankees. Now, this is a very interesting one. The Mariners are 48-44 this season. The Yankees are 51-41, and it is at Yankees Stadium. And when we take a look at it, we can see we're actually taking the New York Yankees plus 1.5 spread at minus 160 odds. Now, I also do like the Yankees to win this outright, but the plus 1.5 spreads projected hit rate compared to the odds made more sense to take more than the New York Yankees money line at the odds that it is. So this actually had a 68.38% projected hit rate from Predictive Profits at minus 160 odds. That's a very profitable bet for us to take today. On the mound, we have Brian Wu versus Marcus Stroman, who are honestly, I'm going to say both pretty good pitchers. Now, I do think Brian Wu is on another level compared to Marcus Stroman, but I mean, the stats pretty much speak for themselves at that, but the stats also speak for themselves for the batters. The Yankees have some crazy batters, and I think that they're going to be able to overcome Brian Wu's pitching today. Brian Wu's 8-4 this season with a 2.7 ERA. Marcus Stroman's 1-1, but he has a 7.4 ERA. So that's the little bit of concern that I do have today for the Yankees. But I think with how many good batters they have in their lineup that they're not going to have any issues covering a plus 1.5 spread. So, I mean, they can lose by one. That's fine. Just don't let them lose by two or more, you know. Next up, we have the Rays versus the Red Sox. Now, this is at Red Sox Stadium. The Rays are 50-43 this season. The Red Sox are 49-45. So a very close matchup stat-wise between these teams. We're actually going to take the game total under 9.5. And when we look at the pitchers for this game, you'll see why. This has a 56.9% projected hit rate according to Predictive Profits. And the pitchers on the mounds today are both great pitchers, honestly. We have Taj Bradley versus Walker Buehler. Taj Bradley's averaging 4.8 ERA this season with 5-6 record. Walker Buehler's 6-6 with a 6.2 ERA. But I think versus each other, this is going to be a very tight game. And I could see this being 0-0 going into the 5th, 6th inning even. So I'm loving this under today. But I'm not loving it like a ton. This is one of those bets where, I mean, you can just tell from the projected hit rate compared to the odds. A 56.9% at minus 120. It's positive EV, but it's not way up there. This is one of the bets that I'm going to be taking today that's 0.5 units, maybe 1 unit. It's not one that I'm loving a ton that I'm going to put 2 units, 3 units on like some of the rest. Next up, we have the Guardians versus the White Sox. Loving this matchup today. We have two pretty good pitchers on both ends. This is at White Sox Stadium at Rate Field. Guardians are 43-48 today. This season, 43-48 this season, not today. The White Sox are 31-62. Terrible. Just not a very good team. But we can see we're going to take the Guardians money line at minus 134. I think they have a high enough projected hit rate to make this a reasonable odds to take. They are 61.51% projected hit rate from Predictive Profits. And the two pitchers on the mound, we have Logan Allen versus Jonathan Cannon. And I mean, Jonathan Cannon's not a great pitcher, but he's a good pitcher for the White Sox. The White Sox don't have too many great pitchers. So Logan Allen's 5-7, has a 5-7 record this season with a 4.0 ERA. Jonathan Cannon's 3-7 with a 4.5 ERA. And I do think the Guardians batters are leagues ahead of the White Sox batters. So I'm definitely just going to go ahead and take the Cleveland Guardians. And I'm not going to think twice about this one. Next up, we have the Nationals versus the Cardinals. And I am sorry to say this is the one game we will have no bet for today. Just not loving either one today. We have Michael Soroka versus Miles Mikolas. Both of these pitchers are giving 5+ ERA this season, and the Nationals are 38.54. Cardinals are 49.44. It's at Busch Stadium for the Cardinals, but there's just not much to love here, in my opinion, based on the odds the sports books are giving us. So I'm just no bet for this one. Next up, we have the Braves versus the Athletics, and boy, did my Braves kill it. I'm not sure what you can see from my webcam right now, but I have an Acuna Jr. Poster up there, and bro hit. It was the fourth inning, and I looked, and he had 2 home runs yesterday. Bro was balling out versus the Athletics yesterday, so I loved seeing that. The Braves did their job, man. I'm actually wearing a Braves shirt right now. Love my Braves, but this season they're 40-51 versus the Athletics, who are 38-56, and they are at Sutter Health Park, so they're at the Athletics' home. But we have Spencer Strider on the mound, and we're going to talk about that in a second. My bet for the day is going to be game total under 10 at -115 odds. The projected hit rate is a whopping 63.66%, mainly because of the two pitchers that we have on the mound. We have Spencer Strider versus JP Sears. Now, Spencer Strider has looked better in prior seasons, right? I believe he had to have Tommy John surgery. I just know he was gone for last season pretty much. Spencer Strider is one of my favorite pitchers, though, and I mean he's a strikeout machine. But Spencer Strider's 3-7 this season with a 3.9 ERA, which is terrible compared to his past games that I've seen. But I do think he can have a great outing tonight versus the Athletics, who, even though they had an incredible first outing versus the Braves, aren't the best team. JP Sears, on the other hand, is 7-7 with a 4.7 ERA. I don't think either of these either of these pitchers are going to allow too much contact, too many hits, and the under 10 looks great today. I actually had under 11 that I took later on in the day, and it pushed. Luckily, by the way, we had like 4 innings without any runs later on in the game, but I do think the under 10 can cash for us with these pitchers on the mound for each team. Next up, we have 2 more games, but this one is going to be the Rangers versus the Angels. We have a 45-48 Rangers team versus the Angels, who are 45-47. This is at Angel Stadium, and we actually have 2 great pitchers on the mound, so I'm looking forward to watching this game. We have the game total under 9.5 at -105 odds, a 59.3% projected hit rate, and we have Patrick Corbin versus Jack Kochanowicz for the Angels. Patrick Corbin's 5-7 this season with a 4.18 ERA. Jack, on the other hand, is 3-8 with a 5.4 ERA. I do think these are some of the better pitchers that these teams have, though. Patrick Corbin's not the greatest. I mean, the Rangers, who else do they have? Nathan Eovaldi's a pretty good pitcher for the Rangers. Patrick Corbin's decent, though. He's decent enough where I think we can get the game total under 9.5. I'm projecting like 6 runs in this game, probably. So hopefully we can stay at 6 or 7, not even come close to getting 9 or 10. But the under 9.5 at -105, I'm loving this with the projected hit rate that we have from Predictive Profits. Loving that one. This is one you can put 1 unit on, 1.5, whatever you're feeling on this one. And last but definitely not least, we have the Diamondbacks versus the Padres, who cashed us out last night on their game total over 8.5. But the Diamondbacks are 46-47 this season. The Padres are 49-43. This is at Petco Park for the Padres. And the pick that we're having for this game is going to be the Padres plus 1.5 spread at -160 odds. Now, it is -160 odds, but it has a projected hit rate of 64.91%, which is just beautiful. Now, on the mound, we have Eduardo Rodriguez versus Randy Vasquez. Vasquez. I'm not really sure how to say his last name. I apologize. Eduardo Rodriguez is not a great pitcher at all. I tend to take his under outs over hits allowed, over earn runs allowed on underdog and price picks, things like that. So I'm loving this matchup for us today. Eduardo Rodriguez is 3-5 this season with a 5.8 ERA. Randy, on the other hand, is 3-4 with a 3.8 ERA. So much less ERA for him. I'm loving this. Randy's right-handed pitcher versus Eduardo, who is a left-handed pitcher, and with a almost 65% projected hit rate on the plus 1.5 spread. I would rather take this than the money line. But if you want to take the Padres money line, it should be pretty good odds. So you could take that as well. I'm going to stick to what Predictive Profits recommends us, though, the plus 1.5 spread at minus 160. So, again, guys, if you guys are interested in Predictive Profits, use code TTL50, get 50% off on your first month. But our top 3 bets for today, what you guys have been waiting for, these are what we are loving today. Number 1, we're going to have the Miami Marlins money line at plus 156. Now, this has a pretty low percentage projected hit rate. Based on some of the others, we saw plenty that were 68, 63, 60 plus percent, right? But the Marlins money line at plus 156, the odds on this are just incredible. For a 50.5% projected hit rate, this is the most positive EV bet that I gave you guys today. Now, although we may only hit this 1 out of 2 times, we are going to be very profitable at plus 156 for this. Next up, we have the Athletics versus Atlanta game total under 10. Now, this is another one I loved. Again, Spencer Strider versus JP Sears. Love this matchup. Minus 115 odds with a 63.66% projected hit rate. Absolutely loving this one. And to end it off, we're going to take the Yankees plus 1.5 spread at minus 160. Now, the Yankees is a terrific positive EV play, even with it being minus 160. But the main reason I'm taking this one is just because it has such a high projected hit rate. I think this one is an easy layup. You can put it in parlays if you would like. A 68.38% projected hit rate from Predictive is pretty unheard of. So I'm loving that one. These are my top 3 bets of the day, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys with the props video coming out in just a few hours. Thank you guys for watching.